Good evening, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great time tonight, fellowshipping with one another. Again, what a joy it is for us to be able to gather together in the homes like this and to just rethink through the message. Of course, the word meditate, which is found all through the Psalms, Proverbs, talking about the wise man, how he meditates. The righteous will meditate on God's precepts. Meditate means to contemplate. And that's not like in some, Eastern mystical kind of, outer body experience, but it just means to mull over. It literally means to ponder, to think through. And, that's what we do here at the live groups, kind of think through the text a little bit more and the things that were, spoken, the things the Lord ministered to us on Sunday morning. And, this section of Galatians chapter 2, verses 11 through 15, which is what we covered, or actually verse 14 we got to this Sunday, is just so practical where we live. I mean, there's the great Paul the Apostle confronting, the great pillar of the church, Peter, because of compromise and how easy it is to compromise. We talked about how, Peter's and Paul's doctrine was solid. They both were on the same page doctrinally. There wasn't an issue there. But when it came to practically working out that doctrine in everyday life, that's where it broke down. Why? Because of the fear of man. It says that Peter withdrew from the Gentiles when the Jews showed up. It says because he feared them. He feared those that were of the circumcision. Other people's opinions matter to us. Other people's viewpoints cause us to compromise sometimes our viewpoints that we are rock solid strong in. And so just want to, encourage us again tonight to think through that. How is it that I allow, what areas in my lives that I allow other people's opinions about my faith, about the Word of God, about the convictions based, of course, on the Word of God, especially when I think of the unbelieving world. They don't know why I believe what I believe or why I have certain convictions to raise my kids in a certain way, to direct my family in a certain way, my work ethic, in the professional world, there's this driving to, just succeed. And there you are, as a follower of Jesus, and success to you is different. Success to you isn't making a ton of money and having all of these things. Success to you is following the Lord, and sometimes that's different. Oftentimes that's very different than the viewpoint of those that we're working around, and so they don't quite understand maybe why you decide to do certain things or not do certain things, why you're not driven to put in all the overtime and everything, because hey, I want to get to life group tonight, and it's what's that? Who cares about that? Because we value the kingdom of heaven. And sometimes it's easy for us to compromise, our convictions and what we know to be true in our hearts, what we should be doing with our lives, with our time, because of the pressure maybe of the atmosphere we work in, or the home life we have, or extended family we have, or friends we have. Of course, that's just one example, of compromises that we can make. So just want to encourage you to be strong and encourage one another tonight. Of course, this is what life groups are for, to encourage one another in the Lord, because you guys come out of the world today and you're coming together tonight to build one another up, encourage one another, remind one another, what really it should all be about. What is our purpose of life here on this earth? To love the Lord our God with all our heart and to love our neighbors ourselves. What's the best way to do that is to love God and to share the love of God with the world around us. That's the best way to love our neighbors, to share the gospel. And, I just pray that God really gives us a huge burden in our hearts for the unsaved. And of course, that's what drives me, as I talk so much about the 1040 window And that's what moves us to the unreached, is these are people who have never heard the gospel, and our hearts are broken as we come to Christ and we grow in intimacy with Christ. We're broken because of them without Christ, dying, perishing without Christ. And, and that how much are just right now around us, those that don't know Christ, that our hearts should break over. And so just want to encourage you to remember really what the purpose of our lives are, is to, to be here on this earth, to pour out the love of Jesus towards those around us. Of course, we can't do that if the love of Jesus isn't pouring into us. So I pray that as we go through Galatians and we study the grace of God, as we receive that incredible love of Jesus towards us, it then begins to pour out from us. And we don't let the fear of man move us in any way. We don't let that happen in our lives where we're now compromising what we know to be true because of the pressures of the society we live in, the families we might be a part of, or extended families, or the culture in our workplace, or whatever it might be. I just want to encourage you guys to just live your lives for His glory. So hope you guys have great discussions tonight. The questions are awesome, very practical, and just pray that God really just meets you guys for His glory. God bless you, and have a great discussion.